All right, welcome back. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're not just explaining a topic, we're actually playing a game. The whole point is to try and map the strange, sometimes hilarious, and always wonderful connections inside one person's brain. You're going to see how one idea sparks another in ways you would just never, ever expect. So, let's jump in.
So, the entire game, everything we're about to do, hinges on this one simple question you see right here. Maze mazkir lecha. In English, that's basically, what does this remind you of? We are about to follow a really unique train of thought, and your job is to try and guess the connection before I reveal it.
The rules couldn't be simpler. First, I'm going to show you a prompt. Second, and this is the most important part, you're going to hit pause and actually guess the connection. Seriously, say it out loud. Then, when you're ready, you press play and I'll reveal the answer. Ready to give it a shot? Let's get started.
Okay, our first round is called Puns and Prayers. So, this first set of prompts, it's a mix of religious phrases and just, everyday feelings. The connections here are wonderfully clever. Here are your first prompts. We've got a principle from Jewish law about pushing off holidays, then a super common complaint, I have no strength. Next up, a line from a prayer, opening the eyes of the blind. Another one about how we are wonderfully formed. And finally, the English phrase, good and pleasure. What in the world could these connect to? Now's your chance. Go ahead and pause and make your guesses.
And we're back. Let's see the answers. The phrase about postponing things, it connects to a breakwater. It's a perfect pun on holding back powerful forces. The complaint, I have no strength, beautifully flips into a plea, give me strength. I love that. The prayer for opening the eyes of the blind is linked to laser eye surgery. And the blessing about being formed connects to a work of art. Finally, good and pleasure connects to the Kotel, the Western Wall in Jerusalem. Just brilliant.
All right, let's move on to our next round. These are what I'm calling cultural cues. The prompts here are all about people, places, and ideas that, well, they might require a little bit of inside knowledge. Let's see how you do.
Okay, so what do we have here? First up, the evil eye, a common superstition. Then there's Dan Arbel, who's a legendary Israeli sportscaster. Next, the familiar PTA, or Parent-Teacher Association. And finally, Pilates. What are the associations? Take a moment, think about it, and give it your best shot.
So, how'd you do on that one? The evil eye, associated with dreidels. The spinning tops? Maybe the spinning is supposed to confuse it? Who knows? The famous announcer, Dan Arbel, he evokes the feeling of courage. The PTA is linked to a specific park in Jerusalem, the Gazelle Valley. And Pilates, the connection is simply old age. I'll let you decide if that's a compliment or not.
Time for round 3. This one should be delicious. It's called From the Menu. And you guessed it, all the prompts are inspired by the world of food and drink.
Okay, our prompts are a Hebrew idiom for the ultimate indulgence, which literally means on the account of the world to come. Then a donut, simple enough. The juice brand Tropicana, and a very specific list of toppings, olives, pickles, tomato, cilantro, and lox. What food thoughts do these trigger? You know the drill. Pause the explainer and think it over.
All right, the answers are in. That ultimate indulgence, on the account of the world to come, banana muffins. I can get behind that. A donut simply melts. Tropicana connects to a phrase that sounds like pulp away, just a clever little bit of wordplay. And that whole list of salad items, the association is a common idiom, lo beweis sefrenu, which means not in our school, a polite way of saying, yeah, no, absolutely not.
We have arrived at our final, and maybe the most mysterious round. I'm calling this one Lost in Translation, because the connections here are pretty abstract, they mix languages, and honestly, they feel like a true peek into a really unique worldview.
Okay, our final prompts. The English phrases, big smile, and God is great, the tech term for smart windows, and the universal celebration, a birthday. This is our last chance to play. What could these possibly be linked to? Ready to make your final guess? Go ahead and pause.
And here they are, the final and most personal associations. Big smile connects to testing. Maybe it's that nervous smile you have before a big exam. God is great is immediately followed by people are crazy. What a fascinating and cynical pairing. Smart windows links to the word Roodridges, which is a complete mystery even to me. And birthday connects to ceramics, maybe a memorable gift or a pottery class. These are the kinds of links that really show a mind's hidden stories.
So what was the point of all this?
It was never, ever about getting the right answer because, well, there isn't one. This is just a reminder that every single mind is a unique universe, with pathways built from memory and language and experience, pathways that are sometimes logical, sometimes poetic, and sometimes just plain strange. The fun is just getting a little glimpse of someone else's map. And that brings us to the end, but the game isn't really over. Now, I'm turning that first question back to you. Think about it. A song, a smell, a word. What's the strangest, most unexpected thing it reminds you of? That's a story worth exploring. Thanks so much for playing along.